So today at the AEW All In media event, I guess we could call it that. It was like a pre-sale ticket press conference type of thing. AEW hosted this event and they confirmed something really big for AEW All In Texas, but it also left me a little bit confused, which I thought might be a good thing to talk about. Because if AEW does play this right, it could actually be like a really, really good thing for the company. If they don't play this right, it could also be a really bad thing for the company too. So I want to talk about it. Tony Khan has officially confirmed that AEW All In Texas will stream live on the Max streaming service. He confirmed this at the media event, and he says that the shows and all of AEW's shows are going to be live streaming on Max going forward. Now, we know in the very near future, AEW is going to be putting on simulcasts for Collision and Dynamite. We know that Rampage is going to be going away. And we know that their pay-per-views will be available on the Max streaming service, but we don't really have more details than just that. Nobody knows if the pay-per-views will cost $20, $30, $40, $3, $5. Nobody knows at all what the pricing is, and it hasn't been revealed. And with AEW All In Texas being like their version of WrestleMania, I think it would actually be really, really smart for AEW and Warner Bros. Discovery to offer this pay-per-view as a free event for this year only. Listen, I'm going to be very honest with you guys. I think AEW has so much potential. We've seen their potential in 5 years. The company has lost momentum. And the company losing momentum, it's unfortunate. It is what it is. I mean, we could sit here and talk about booking and business decisions and all this stuff. But really, the primary reason for this video is because of the fact that AEW is losing momentum. They got to look for different ways to grow their audience because what they are doing right now just clearly isn't working. If you take offense to that statement, that's a you problem. Because the reality is AEW is not growing their fan base. I think if they were to offer AEW All In for free on Max next year, there's millions and millions and millions of people who use the Max streaming service. And if you offer this event for free, for no additional cost, and this is your mega event, this is your Super Bowl, this is your WrestleMania, whoever has that app downloaded and whoever decides to click on that app, if they see AEW All In Texas on the home screen for a free event, there should be a little bit of intrigue for somebody to click it. And if you are providing it for free and you are providing a really high level product, you're going to get a lot of people who use the Max streaming service tuned into AEW. And I think that could be really needed for this company. This is a company where, I think there's so much doom and gloom. And I think people look at my criticism as like doom and gloom, as if like I want this company to die. No, that's not true. I actually want the opposite. I want the company to thrive. It just makes more sense for all these wrestling companies to do well, especially because I get paid full time to talk about it. So obviously I want the companies to do well, but I can't sit there and just lie and say that AEW is on fire right now. Statistically speaking, that is just simply not true. But AEW needs to figure things out. And, you could do all the good booking in the world. And to be honest with you, I actually don't think that's going to solve the problem. I don't. I think whoever was an AEW loyalist that left AEW more than likely will not go back and watch it because they feel burned. Not saying that it's unlikely, but I don't think, for now, I don't think good booking will be enough to bring people back. Now, there's this thing that I used to hear all the time in the professional workplace, especially in the corporate world. We talk about reviews, and we talk about reviews, growing businesses, and this was one thing that I found in particular that I used as an example of many times as a leader. And I always used to tell people, the common saying is that if somebody has a bad experience, they will tell 10 people about their bad experience. They will tell everybody about their bad experience. They will just keep blasting how negative it was. But then if they had a really good experience, they might tell one person. They don't tell as many people about the positive experiences than they do with the negative experiences. So with professional wrestling, if you apply it here, AEW just simply doing good booking isn't enough. What AEW actually really needs to improve on is their marketing. I think their marketing is something that has taken a big backseat to their product. And obviously that's going to happen because they're a relatively young company and they got to learn and they got to get better and they got to hire the right people for that. But their marketing is a concern. And that's probably why they're not selling as many tickets. And it's probably why, not as many people are buying as much merch as they used to. Marketing solves a lot of problems. So here's the thing. If AEW Dynamite has a bad episode, and you're reviewing it, you're going to tell more people about the negative than you will about the positive, right? But if AEW has a really, really good episode, you might only tell like 1 or 2 people. And I'm speaking more so word of mouth. I'm not talking about creating content. But my point that I'm trying to make here is that if we all know AEW's tickets are becoming a little bit more reasonable in price, but if you give this pay-per-view event for free on Max and somebody has a really good experience of it and they become a new fan, I think they're more likely to tell people, hey, you have the Max streaming service, right? Okay, you should check out this AEW thing, man. It's pretty cool. And this is where maybe having names like Chris Jericho on your brand actually helps, because Chris Jericho is a name that a lot of people used to know back in the day. If they are a lapsed wrestling fan, they definitely know who Chris Jericho is. If Sting is there, like we all know he will be there in some capacity, that's going to be pretty big. So again, it's all about marketing and figuring out ways to get new fans. You provide the event for free. You have an opportunity to open doors like crazy for potential new fans. Simply booking a good show will not be enough. Simply booking 5 shows in a row will not be good enough. Like, you got to be very consistent with your booking. But then there's a whole other beast, which is the marketing and advertising and the community outreach and the stuff that they do. I mean, this event that they did for the media and the fans for free, it was a free event, it only had like 40 or 50 people in attendance roughly. That's not that exciting, and I'm not saying that as a bad thing to AEW, but I don't think AEW is at a point where they can do a really, really, really good job of selling out All In Texas unless they get better at their marketing. So if they get better at their marketing now, promoting their events and promoting their live shows and doing it in a way which makes them feel cool, I think AEW could build up enough excitement to stack up that arena or stadium, right? And then if you are a casual viewer on the Max streaming service and you're looking at this and you see a huge stadium filled with a whole bunch of wrestling fans, and my God, you see Sting, that might be enough to keep people hooked. And then hopefully people could become a fan. But I don't think it makes a lot of sense for AEW selling All In as a $40, $50 pay-per-view. I know there's money to be made, but sometimes you can make more money by losing money. And I think Tony Khan hopefully understands that with this Max streaming service, there are plenty of opportunities to get people watching. I see how excited he is talking about streaming on Max, and he has every reason to be, because it is a good thing. But at the same time, too, I might not be as intrigued to watch a Dynamite or a Collision on Max. I might be more intrigued if you show me a stadium event with 40, 50,000 fans going crazy, and then you have some recognizable names in there as well. That might be a good way to grow the fan base. We'll see what happens, but this is a good thing for AEW. I'm glad that it will be on Max. Now we just got to figure out what the pricing will be, and hopefully it all goes well.